Hey, Roger Martin here from Billings, Montana. Here's the problem with the Kavanaugh hearings. They want to play politics instead of get down to business. As usual, they're worried about their uh, positioning for the 2020 elections for president.
Already told him he could use those documents publicly. Congressman Trey Gowdy, no stranger to wild hearings on the Hill, joins us now. Congressman, good to see you tonight. Thank you very much for joining us. Obviously,
thank you.
This is going on the Senate side, but I'm curious about your thoughts about what Senator Booker did today and whether or not there was any reason for the drama surrounding it.
Only 2020 presidential politics, Martha. They missed a wonderful opportunity. The Senate did. To have a robust, interesting hearing about judicial philosophy and whether you're a strict constructionist or whether you're a minimalist. I mean, these are legitimate questions and reasonable minds can differ. What I've watched over the last couple of days was a bunch of people who want to be the nominee in 2020. And it's sad. I grew up watching confirmation hearings. I'm a little bit of a nerd. I think it's incredible to watch smart people question other smart people about important matters. So you're seeing 2020 presidential politics, but you're also seeing at its core this division about what the role of the court is. Is it a super legislature by which you can obtain your objective if you can't get it at the ballot box, or do you want people to simply interpret the law?
I mean, that is ultimately the question in terms of how a justice would rule, what goes into those decisions, and what their process is, and how closely adhered they are to the Constitution. But it didn't prevent people from trying, obviously, to try to read some tea leaves, to try to look at some of the emails and statements that he has made in the past, Brett Kavanaugh, that might shed some light on how he might rule in the future. Here's Kamala Harris asking an interesting, question, which doesn't really have a whole lot to do with basic constitutional questions, but she wanted to know if he had ever communicated with one of the attorneys who at one point was involved in the Mueller probe. Watch this.
Have you discussed Mueller or his investigation with anyone at Kasowitz, Benson, and Torres, the law firm founded by Mark Kasowitz, President Trump's personal lawyer? Be sure about your answer, sir. Yes or no?
I need to know I'm not sure I know everyone who works at that law firm.
I don't think you need to. I think you need to know who you talked with. Who'd you talk to?
She went on to say something like, I think you may be thinking of someone, and pressing him further on that. What did you make of that exchange? Is it useful?
What I'm sitting here thinking is every time we ask a question about Mueller, we're accused of undermining the Mueller probe. So she's asking a question about, is it useful? It depends on what the factual predicate is. If she has evidence that Brett Kavanaugh has already made up his mind about some essential issue that's going to come before the court, then she needs to lay out that factual predicate and get him to respond to it. But do you know anyone who works at the following D.C. law firm is an absurd, ridiculous question that you would only ask if you wanted to appeal to the base and position yourself as a front runner ahead of Corey and Elizabeth Warren and everyone else for the pole position in 2020. Then it's a really good question.
In your mind, did anybody?
So there you are. These people are positioning themselves for 2020, and they could care less whether or not this guy gets in there currently. Again, it's Roger Martin from Billings, Montana. Fox News has got this, and they've had over 808,000 views. This was done September 6th. So several days old. But the fact is, they're playing politics instead of getting the business done on the Hill. As usual. Again, this is Roger Martin from Billings, Montana. We need to get Kavanaugh in there and quit playing politics. We'll see what happens in time.